The offer is everything. Most people think they have a marketing problem. They don't. They have an offer problem. I've watched broke people with amazing marketing skills stay broke. And I've watched people who couldn't write a headline to save their life get rich because their offer was so good, people felt stupid saying no. Here's the shocking part. Nobody wants your product. Nobody wants your service. They want the outcome, minus the risk, minus the effort, minus the time. If your offer doesn't make that trade obvious, you don't have a marketing problem. You have a nobody cares problem. The first million isn't made by being the best copywriter, the best closer, or the best hustler. It's made by building something so valuable that selling it feels unnecessary. Stack so much value into what you're offering that the price becomes the smallest objection in the room. Add guarantees that remove all the risk. Add speed so they get results faster. Add ease so it takes less work on their end. Do this until the offer is so lopsided in the customer's favor that saying no feels irrational.
People don't buy products. They buy better versions of themselves, delivered faster, with less pain.
Fix the offer first. Fix it before the ad. Fix it before the funnel. Fix it before anything else, because everything else is just amplifying whatever you already built, good or bad. Speed of implementation beats intelligence. I've met genius-level people who are broke, and I've met average people worth millions. The difference was never IQ, it was speed. The person who takes imperfect action today will always beat the person planning the perfect strategy for 6 months. Here's what's shocking. Most people aren't failing because they lack information. We are drowning in free information. YouTube, podcasts, books, it's all there. People are failing because they consume and don't execute. They research instead of launch. They learn instead of test. If I had to start over, I would give myself one rule. Act within 24 hours of learning something new. Not next week. Not when I feel ready. Now. Feeling ready is a myth successful people don't wait for. Every dollar I ever made came after doing something before I felt qualified to do it. Confidence is not the prerequisite for action. It's the result of it. You get confident by doing the thing badly first, then a little better, then a lot better. The market doesn't reward the smartest plan. It rewards the fastest feedback loop. Every day you delay launching is a day a slower, less talented competitor takes the customer that could have been yours. Speed isn't recklessness. Speed is respect for the compounding nature of time. Master one skill before chasing 10. Everybody wants to be a multi-skilled entrepreneur before they've made a single sale. That's backwards. The fastest path to $1 million is absurd, obsessive mastery of one skill, usually sales, or the ability to get and keep customers. I'd rather have one skill at a 9 out of 10 than 5 skills at a 4 out of 10, because average skills stacked together still produce average results. Nobody pays top dollar for decent at everything. They pay top dollar for the best at the one thing I need. If I had to restart from zero, I would pick the single highest leverage skill, selling or building offers, or closing, and I would drill it obsessively for 12 months straight before touching anything else. No shiny objects. No, let me also learn ads, funnels, hiring, and content all at once. That's how people stay mediocre at everything for years. Depth beats width in the beginning. Width only matters once. Depth has already paid your bills. The people making 7 figures aren't smarter than you. They just picked one lane and refused to leave it until they were undeniable in it. Pick the skill that touches revenue directly. Master that first. Everything else can be hired, delegated, or outsourced later, but nobody can outsource your ability to bring in money when you have none. Reinvest instead of reward yourself. Here's the part nobody wants to hear. The fastest way to stay broke is to reward yourself before you've built anything sustainable. The first checks that come in feel like proof you've made it. They're not. They're fuel. And most people burn the fuel on a car, a watch, or a vacation instead of putting it back into the machine that made the money in the first place. If I had to do it again, every single dollar of profit in year 1 would go back into the business. More ads, more inventory, better people, better tools until the business could fund lifestyle upgrades without me needing to dip into working capital. This is uncomfortable because it means looking poor while your bank account has money sitting in it. But that discomfort is the price of admission for long-term wealth. The shocking truth is most people don't go broke from making too little. They go broke from spending the little they made too early. Compounding doesn't care about your patience level. It only cares whether the money stayed in the system or left it. Every dollar you pull out early is a dollar that can never multiply again. Delay the reward, reinvest the reward. Then, once the machine is self-sustaining, reward yourself with money the business generates, not money you needed to survive. Solve a painful, expensive problem. Not all problems are created equal. Some problems are mildly annoying. Others are so painful that people will pay almost anything to make them disappear. If I had to make $1 million again, I would stop trying to sell nice to have and hunt exclusively for hair on fire problems. The kind where the customer is already actively searching for a solution, already frustrated, and already has budget allocated. Selling becomes almost unnecessary when the pain is big enough. You're not convincing anyone of anything. You're just the first competent option they found. The shocking part is most beginners chase passion projects instead of pain points. They build what excites them, not what desperately needs solving. That's a hobby, not a business. A real business exists at the intersection of a problem that hurts, a market that can pay, and a solution only you can deliver quickly. Ask, who is losing sleep, losing money, or losing time right now, and would pay to make that stop today? That's where the $1 million is hiding. It's never in comfortable, low-stakes problems. It's in the urgent, expensive, embarrassing problems people are quietly desperate to solve. Go find the pain. Price accordingly. Painful problems don't need clever marketing. They need to be found and solved before someone else does it first. Outlast everyone. Consistency is the real cheat code. Here's the most shocking truth of all. Almost nobody who fails because the strategy was wrong. They fail because they quit in month 4 of a strategy that would have worked in month 14. If I had to make $1 million again, my biggest unfair advantage wouldn't be some secret tactic. It would simply be refusing to stop before the compounding kicked in. Everyone is looking for the shortcut, the hack, the one trick. But the actual hack is time plus refusal to quit. Most people quit right before the breakthrough, because the breakthrough is invisible until it happens. There's no signal telling you 6 more weeks and this works. So they stop at week 11, convinced it doesn't work, right as someone else with less talent but more patience blows past them in week 12. Consistency isn't glamorous. It's showing up on the boring days, the slow days, the days with 0 results and 0 motivation. That's exactly why it's rare, and exactly why it's valuable. Everyone can be consistent for a week. Almost nobody can be consistent for 2 years. Be the person who's still standing after everyone else has walked away, because the market eventually pays the last one standing, not the most talented one who quit early. What if everything you think you need to make $1 million is wrong? What if it's not about the funnel, not about the ad spend, not about the perfect logo, the perfect app, or the perfect 10-step system you saved on your phone but never opened again? What if the truth is so simple that it actually makes you angry, because it means every excuse you've been using for the last 2 years was never real? Let me tell you something. If I lost everything tomorrow, every dollar, every contact, every asset, and had to make $1 million again from 0, I would not panic, because I finally understand the game. And once you understand the game, starting over stops being scary. It becomes almost boring, because you already know exactly what to do. I would not spend my first month researching. I would not spend my first month finding my niche. I would build one offer so good, so lopsided in the customer's favor, that saying no would feel stupid. Because nobody buys products. Nobody buys services. People buy outcomes, and they buy speed, and they buy the removal of risk. Give them all 3, and price stops being the objection. Then I would move fast. Faster than comfortable. Faster than ready. Because the market does not reward the smartest plan sitting in a notebook. It rewards the person who launched it ugly on day 1, while everyone else was still perfecting the logo. Confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you earn by doing the thing before you feel qualified to do it. I would pick one skill. 1, not 5, not 10. I would get suffocatingly, obsessively good at getting and keeping customers, because that skill alone pays for every other skill you'll ever need to hire later. Width is a luxury for people who already have depth. Beginners chasing 10 skills at once stay average at all of them forever. Every dollar that came in, I would not touch for myself. Not the new watch. Not the upgraded apartment. Not the vacation to prove I made it. I would shove it back into the machine. More testing, more reach, more capability, until the business could fund my life without me needing to steal from its future to fund my present. Most people don't go broke because they earn too little. They go broke because they spent too early. I would hunt for pain, real pain. The kind where people are already losing sleep, losing money, or losing time, and are already looking for someone, anyone, competent enough to make it stop today. Not passion projects. Not wouldn't it be cool if pain that already has a budget attached to it. That's where the money hides, in plain sight, every single time. And then the part nobody wants to hear, I would simply refuse to quit. Because almost nobody fails from a bad strategy. They fail because they stopped in month 4 of something that would have worked in month 14. The breakthrough gives no warning. There's no signal that says 2 more weeks. So most people stop right before it happens, and somebody less talented but more patient walks straight past them. That's it. That's the whole game. No secret, no hack nobody's heard of, Just an offer worth saying yes to. Speed instead of perfection. One skill mastered instead of 10 half learned. Money reinvested instead of spent. Real pain solved instead of passion chased. In the simple, boring, unglamorous refusal to quit before the compounding shows up. Anyone reading this has everything they need to start today. Not next month. Not when things settle down. Today. The $1 million was never hiding behind some secret system. It was hiding behind consistency long enough for the results to become undeniable. So if you take one thing from all of this, let it be this. The first million was never about luck, timing, or some hidden trick reserved for a lucky few. It was about building an offer